Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today in this learning video we would learn the most crucial aspect of technical analysis, which is support and resistance. You could potentially take many trades based on this simple concept of support and resistance, as we would see in the later half of this video. What is the significance of having support and resistance levels on your chart? So we would be covering the following topics in this video, namely what is support and what is resistance, how to draw support and resistance lines, what is the significance of having support and resistance lines on your chart, or should you have zones of support and resistance on your chart, which proves to be more effective. We would also assess the strength of support and resistance, and we would look at examples for drawing support and resistance levels, and when you could take trades based on support and resistance, and when it's best to avoid the trade based on support and resistance lines. So let's move on to our first topic, what is support and resistance. So what is support? Support is a price level when a stock is in downtrend. It is the level at which we expect the downtrend of the stock to halt temporarily because of concentration of buyers present at that level. You cannot ignore the possibility of reversal from that level as well. And on a similar note, resistance is a price level where a stock in uptrend can be expected to pause because of concentration of sellers at that level. A possibility of reversal cannot be neglected at a resistance. So the next point comes is how to draw these support and resistance zones and zones or levels on this chart. So I would prefer, rather than having support and resistance lines, you must prefer having support and resistance zone on your chart, because there is not a particular price which buyers or sellers would try to defend, but it would be an area or a range of price which buyers or sellers would defend. So you could consider it to be a zone rather than a fixed level. So let us first see how to draw or how to identify visually and then draw support and resistances. So whenever you see a U-type shape on your chart, then consider the bottom of that U to be support, and similarly when you see a formation of an inverted U on your chart, then you could consider the top of that inverted U to be the resistance for the price. Now once you have identified support and resistance on your chart, then the point comes is how you mark those levels. For marking a support or resistance zone specifically rather than levels, now let's say we want to mark a resistance. Now you can see price has taken a shape of inverted U at this level. So you need to draw one horizontal line at the top which the price has made while formation of this inverted U shape, and the next line for the zone you would place at the close or open of the body. If it is a green candle, then you would place the line at the close of this green candle. If it is a red candle, then you would prefer placing the second horizontal line for your zone at the open of the red candle. If these two levels coincide, as in this case, then there would be a single line as a support or resistance zone. In this case it's resistance. On a similar note, you can see that while marking a support zone, you can see this is the lowermost point, so this becomes one boundary of your zone, and another boundary for your zone in this case would be either open of this green candle or close of this red candle. So it would also help you in taking trades such that when trade comes at this level, you would consider it as a buy signal and use this level as a stop loss. We will look at practical examples in the later half of the video. Now it comes how to assess the strength of these support and resistance level. So few points I would like to share with you are: sharper the turn from the resistance or from the support level, stronger is the dominance or presence of buyers or sellers. Greater the time spent at this levels. If price comes, let's say a stock is trading at 1010 levels and it drops down to 1000 level, and it has first time reached 1000 level, it trades at that level for, let's say, for 3 to 4 candles, then you could consider that this level has been of significant importance, as more number of shares have been exchanged at this level, and you can expect this level to act as a strong support or resistance zone for future price action. And one final point which I would like to state while assessing the strength of support and resistance is that multiple tests of a support and resistance makes it weak. Ideally, I would prefer considering 2 to 3 tests for a support or resistance to hold, and if the stock reaches the support and resistance after testing it for 2 to 3 times, then most likely it is to break that support and trade at lower levels. If resistance, it would break that resistance and trade at higher levels. One more significant thing about support and resistance which I would like to highlight to you is that support acts as a resistance and resistance acts as a support. As the example which I had stated while explaining to you what support and resistance is, consider yourself on second floor. For you, the resistance is the third floor and the support for you is the floor on which you are standing. Now let's say you went on third floor, then what initially was resistance for you has now become a support for you. And conversely, if you come on first floor, then initially what was acting as a support for you is now acting as a resistance for you. Similar things happen with support and resistance. Once this support was broken, again there was some support from this B level. Once this support was broken, then when the next time price came to this level of B, you could see a strong rejection. That means that initially it was support, now it's acting as a resistance. It tested the resistance for 3 times, and then at the fourth time it broke that resistance. Now the next resistance for it would be this A level, which initially was a good support to it. This happens because in stock market, for every buyer there exists a seller. If buyers were defending these levels, then buyers were selling stocks to some sellers at these levels. So now these sellers are becoming aggressive and defending their prices. Now we would look at some live examples or some real-time examples of how to draw support and resistance zone and see how support acts as the resistance and resistance acts as support. So this is chart of Hero MotoCorp on daily time frame. So if you are an intraday trader, then I would prefer setting time frame to 15 minute or 13 minute to draw support and resistance zone. Now this was the price where Hero MotoCorp closed. Looking towards its left, you need to see which are the visually appealing U's and inverted U's. So for support, you need to see U's, and the most visually appealing U is this big one. You can even see the smaller ones, but you need to consider only the biggest and the most visually appealing. This is one visually appealing. Then you can see this one. And on a similar note, for resistance, you need to see an inverted U or inverted V, most visually appealing. So you could check out that this one is the most visually appealing inverted V or U. So as we have discussed earlier, now for drawing this support, what I need to do is consider this bottommost point, draw an horizontal line over here, and the next line which would define this support zone would be drawn either at close of this red candle or open of this green candle. So I'll draw this at close of this red candle. It's completely subjective process and it depends upon you. Do you want to select either open of this green candle or close of this red candle? Because to define a support zone you need at least considerable amount of points. Let's say Hero MotoCorp is trading at 2109, so at least you need 2 to 5 points. If a stock is trading at 10,000 rupees, then at least you need 10 to 20 points. So drawing one more support zone for Hero MotoCorp. Now this time I'll place it at open of green candle. So the process is actually really simple. Now consider this case. I want to draw resistance zone. So drawing first line is really very simple. You need to just draw a line at the topmost point in this inverted U type structure. So this is the topmost point. So I have drawn. Now you have options for drawing zones. Either you can draw a horizontal line over here or at the open of this red candle, but drawing it over here would make this zone a too big zone of around 20 points, but I don't prefer having this big zone, so I'll draw an horizontal line over here. So this has become around 10 point zone. So this is all about drawing support and resistance. As you could see, after seeing this, how sharply it turned from here, you would have drawn these lines, and on next day early morning it came to this levels. If you had shorted it, it was a great trade for you. On similar basis, you can see how sharply it moved up from these levels. So this was your support zone, and next time when it came around these levels, you could see how strongly it bounced back up. So like this you can go on backtesting and drawing these lines. So let's take one more example. Let's take ECC Cements. I'll set daily time frame to 15-minute time frame. Now I need to mark its resistance zone and support zone as well. So a smaller support is expected around these levels of 1250, and in anyways round numbers are a region of good support. So see, you can check that previously it acted as resistance. Now whenever it goes above these levels and again tests it, then this is acting as support. Now earlier it acted as a resistance. So you could see these levels would have been a resistance zone. You can see that here was a sharp U-turn. Price came, opened at this level, and there was a straight fall. Again price came at this level, there was a fall, but there was less fall. As I am stating that multiple tests of support and resistance makes it weak. You can see here it was acting as a support to it, and this time it's resistance. So you can see when it touched this resistance how strong a sell-off came, and again when it tests there was a sell-off, and hence when next time it came and tested these levels it broke them because this level of resistance had become weak. So one more point what I would like to state you is that let's say a stock is trading at 1000 rupees. If it comes at this level and bounces back, you can assume that there are heavy number of buyers present around this level. So whenever again it comes and tests this level, you could see a buying happening, and again because of these buyers stock would again move at higher prices. This may happen on the third time as well. It was fresh support zone created. This was its first test, this was its second test, and what mistake most people do is when it comes again to this level, they expect the stock to rise towards higher level, but as it's testing its support third time, and most likely it breaks it on downward side and then test this as a resistance and then again fall back. So you can see how it works here. It acted as a support, it went up, it came, broke this level, tested this level, again came down, again tested this level as resistance and again came down, and then finally broke it. So you could see that, see, this was a perfect example where it acted as a resistance, it came next time, it broke it, and then tested that level and is now moving at higher levels. So this is all about drawing support and resistance zone. These levels represent a temporary concentration of demand and supply. These are intelligent places for anticipating a reversal. Support and resistance zone usually develop at previous day highs, lows, round numbers, moving averages, trend lines, Fibonacci retracement points, and the significance of support and resistance zone depends upon the time which has been elapsed once it has been tested, meaning that a support level created 6 months ago would be more effective than a support level created a couple of years ago. Thank you friends for watching this video till end. Happy learning, happy trading.